Alright, so in this video, we're going to talk about why low frequency training is king for drug-free lifters. And really, guys, if I found high frequency training and high volume training to be better, I would advocate it, because at the end of the day, I'm about getting my audience fucking results. I'm about, spreading and making drug-free lifting advice more accessible to the world so people aren't stuck with bullshit bodybuilding routines that don't do jack shit for natural lifters. So that's ultimately what I'm about. So if I found a high volume, high frequency training to be more effective, I would advocate for it. But I don't, because it just doesn't work that well from my experience. So here's the reason why low frequency training is king for natural lifters. At the end of the day, everything training related, volume, intensity, frequency, it all comes back to the primary rule of progressive poundage on your big basic lifts. I say this all the fucking time, because it must be drilled into your head, because it's the only principle that matters when you are a drug-free lifter. It's getting stronger at your big basic lifts. That's what's going to build your physique. So too many people are worried and caught up in all this excess bullshit, when really it's about narrowing things down. What's going to be the best way for me to consistently get stronger at my big basic lifts? And the way is low frequency training. Because at the end of the day, successful weight training and having success with building your physique comes down to stringing together progressive workouts. That is all it comes down to. If you can string together a ton of progressive workouts where you're consistently adding strength to your lifts, you're going to be building a ton of muscle mass. So that's what it's all about at the end of the day. And you would think that training more frequently would create more opportunities to get stronger. However, it doesn't work that way. In fact, with low frequency training, you actually consistently get stronger, more than that of following a high frequency routine. Because just because you're training more frequently doesn't mean you're going to be able to add strength each workout. So low frequency training is like an assurance policy that you're actually going to, every time you step in the gym, add strength onto your lifts. So if I take the deadlift, for example, if I train the deadlift today, and then the next time I train it is in like 9 or 10 days, then I'm pretty fucking certain I'm gonna add strength to it. If I try and train it in the next 5-6 days, it's like, really pushing it. But if I wait, if I let my body overcompensate, you want to rest enough so that you gain strength, and then you want to rest a little bit more to overcompensate, gain a little bit more muscle and strength, and then you want to train again. So that's why low frequency training works in a nutshell. It all comes down to stringing together progressive workouts and progressive poundage. And low frequency training is the most reliable and consistent way to do that, because every time you step in the gym, you're gonna know I'm fully fucking recovered and ready to hit this personal record. And if you're fucking with trying to make it, super frequent and training your lifts very frequently, you're really messing around with that, and you're more likely than not going to stall. So it's really about embracing the lower training frequency and accepting that that's actually the faster road to progress. Even if you're training less frequently, each workout you're going to be assured that you're actually going to be consistently getting stronger. So I know you guys are probably thinking, yeah, science says that, you got to train every muscle twice per week for optimal results. And guys, I'm fucking sorry, but I'm not a man of theories, I'm a man of practicalities. And I'm going to get a lot of flack for saying this, but if you take a look at all of these science-based guys preaching the optimal this and that, just look at their fucking physiques, look at their lifts. They're more often than not, and if they are lifting a lot of weight and they are jacked, they're more often than not on drugs. But there are no really natural science-based guys who have incredible physiques. I'm sorry, and they don't have great lifts. So this is basically like going to the gym and hiring a personal trainer who has zero physique, zero strength, and thinking that you're going to get amazing results. It's like, fuck, I'm not going to listen to someone who doesn't look good. I'm not incentivized to actually want to listen to what they say. So that's why, I put what they say to the test. That's what I'm always doing. I'm putting things to the test. I'm trying this, I'm trying that, and I'm refining. And this is what I've come to after a lot of refining over the years. And I've tried the optimal shit. And the optimal, if you ever hear optimal or like meta-analysis and all these science words, then fucking like run the other direction, guys. I'm sorry, because for the most part, it's fucking bullshit. Like, as I said, look at their physique, look at their lifts. More often than not, they're not strong, they're not jacked. but they're preaching this optimal bullshit. And I'm like, fuck, man, really? Like, so that's what you have to understand. And really, guys, most people train way more than they realize that they should, because people are more dedicated to going to the gym than getting results. Getting results and being, committed to going to the gym are very, very different things. Because, if you really wanted the best results, you would not train frequently. You wouldn't train on consecutive days. You wouldn't train more than 3 days per week. You would train 2 to 3 days per week, knowing that that's when your recovery is going to be best. That's when you're going to make the best strength gains and therefore muscle growth. But most people are more dedicated to wanting to have that feel-good effect of having gone to the gym and done something with themselves, rather than actually getting results and stringing together progressive workouts where they're getting strong as fuck on their big basic lifts. So you need to ask yourself, am I someone who's committed to going to the gym because I like to, do something with myself and feel active? Or am I someone who wants fucking results? Because as I said, results come down to progressive poundage, and progressive poundage cannot be achieved every day. You have to rest. You have to give your body time to recuperate, come back stronger, overcompensate, and then come back to the gym and then get stronger. That's what it comes down to at the end of the day. So most people don't understand that weight training is very, very fucking intensive on your body, unless you're training like a puss. But if you're actually training with the necessary effort that you need to be, bringing, then, that's very, very stress, that causes a lot of stress on your body. And you need to rest properly to recuperate from something like that. So if you're actually training with necessary intensity and effort, then that's very strenuous on your body. I also get a lot of questions of guys who want to train on consecutive days. And really, guys, if you're serious about your strength and muscle gains, you should never train on consecutive days. Because even though a lot of guys' excuse for not training on consecutive days is central nervous system fatigue, which is actually bullshit and has been debunked. So you don't have to worry about CNS fatigue from lifting. But the fact of the matter is that if you're training heavy deadlifts on Monday, your upper body is going to be taxed to some degree on the Tuesday. So you can't come back the next day and train bench. It's not going to happen. So when you're training big basic lifts, your whole body is going to be affected. So you need to give your body time, even if it's a lower body lift versus an upper body lift, you still need to take rest days in between to allow yourself to recover and recuperate. Because heavy deadlifts or heavy squats is super strenuous on your body. You can't come back the next day and expect to hit like a bench or overhead press PR. It's just not going to happen. So you should never train if you're not fully recovered from your previous workout. So some days, and this actually comes back to a point I was thinking about, which is like fixed day versus like variable day training. And a lot of people say, I'm going to train Monday, Wednesday, Friday. But sometimes it doesn't work like that. Some days you have to be a bit flexible and really be honest with yourself. If you have to train on the Wednesday and you're just not feeling recovered, then, push it one or two more days forward, and you're actually going to be better off for that, even if you didn't hit the gym. So really, practice conservatism. Don't train if you're not recovered. It's going to fuck up your strength curve. It's going to fuck up your progress. Only train when you're recovered and you're going to be able to properly bring forth the right amount of effort to stimulate growth and hit personal records. So at the end of the day as well, the more progressive workouts you can string together, the better off you will be. So if somehow you can train the lifts more frequently and still maintain the same ability to get stronger, which is very fucking rare, then technically you would be better off and you would gain more muscle doing that. However, if you train too frequently, you actually run the risk of not making strength gains at all, not being able to string together any progressive workouts, which is what you don't want. And that's why a lower training frequency is best. So really, I train just 2 to 3 days per week, and I have a handful of big compound lifts: the bench press, squat, deadlift, the overhead press, the weighted pull-up. You could count rows as well. And really, I don't train them any more than 7 days per week. And I don't look at my training in a matter of splits, like upper, lower, push-pull legs, because that's bullshit. That's not what builds your physique. What builds your physique is getting strong at the big basic lifts. So therefore, you have to think of your training in a matter of lifts, not in a matter of bullshit splits, because that's not the primary driver of your physique. Primary driver of your physique is getting strong at those lifts. So think in a matter of those lifts, and really, that's when you're going to be able to really come to the right consensus. So for deadlift, for example, I have my best deadlift sessions, every 8 to 10 days, sometimes even 12 days. that's when I know I'm consistently going to get stronger. If I try and deadlift once every 7 days, it's pushing it in terms of my recovery ability. Same thing for squats. So every 7 to 10 days I found to be the sweet spot to train the lifts. So yeah, I don't even train typically on a 7-day typical routine. I push it a little bit further so I can overcompensate. I can get a bit more recovery so that my workouts and my strength gains are more consistent. That's the key to consistency. That's ultimately why low frequency training is best, because it allows for more consistency in the realms of strength gains. And you know that when you step in the gym, you're going to crush a personal record. You know, if you're training more frequently, it's kind of a 50-50 chance, and you run the risk of not putting together a progressive workout. You're not stringing together progressive workouts. But if you extend that rest period a bit, you're not technically training as much, but each time you do train, it's going to be progressive, and over time, you're going to create a compound effect of, you know, progressive workouts strung together, and you're going to see incredible results. That's why low frequency training is best, guys. So if you guys enjoyed this video, drop a like, subscribe. Make sure you pick up my free muscle building checklist. It's a natural muscle building checklist. It teaches you everything you need to know about building a physique as a natural. And if you're not hitting on those 13 fundamental steps, then you're actually leaving gains on the fucking table. So you better grab that. Make sure you're hitting on those fundamental steps. There's a full workout program in there as well. So really grab that, send it straight to you, and we'll talk soon. Peace.